Welcome back to another Frame Voyager video. I'm here with Tim LaPointe. You guys have seen him on the channel before. He's done the color grading videos. He's the one that graded my color grading video the worst.
I'm just personally not a big fan of this grade. Probably give it a 2, maybe.
So he doesn't think much of my color grading.
I'm surprised he invited me back.
Oh, this guy's got 3 steps.
Makes it easy for you. Okay. I appreciate that he's established the difference between color correction and grading.
Mm-hmm. Some spicy
More
lips.
spicy on the lips. Now that, like...
What do you think? Do his lips look pretty spicy?
Yeah, like spicy Cheeto spicy, and I don't know that that's doing him a lot of favors. So he's got, I'm trying to see his steps here. So he's got color correction, which is exposure, contrast, highlight, and shadow. Yeah, and that looks pretty good there.
It's funny to me that's called color correction when you're not really changing colors. You're just changing
well, it's
lighting.
also TikTok, and you don't want to have like 5,000 things of text on there, which is why you shouldn't be taking color grading directions from TikTok.
Okay, so second step is...
Now, see, this is where I start to differ a little bit, because to me, I don't know what he's talking about necessarily with curve, but if he's talking about like exposure... It's still color correction.
Yeah.
So if he's talking about like adding in some blues and stuff, like there's a little bit in the shadows there, but it's a very minimal grade. This is what kind of gets me a little bit is like people will take a log image and then you'll have a color corrected image and they're like, oh, look at my color grading. And now in full transparency, I used to do this and I don't anymore.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
What people should do is take the color corrected and compare it to the grade. I would have liked to see a little more than just the lips be a little spicy.
Yeah, because that's the special touch, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of spice.
It still looks very flat to me.
Yeah, this looks like videos I send you and you're like, John, this doesn't look color graded.
No, I mean like you're starting to see it more in like the yellows and the blues and like it's a very it's a nice look depending on what you're trying to do. You know, I feel like there's some movies that kind of have this look, this kind of that teal and orange kind of look. So I will say more so than the first video, like there's definitely more of an actual grade going on here. And again, a lot of color grading is just kind of preference. You know, you kind of got to educate your preference. You know, it's like a person that says, my favorite food is hot dogs and mac and cheese. Like, yeah, it's personal taste, but they're also wrong.
Macaroni and cheese with cut up hot dogs.
That's nice. That's not even spicy. That's just tasty. That's mama's home cooking.
I
right
almost
there.
want to take a stab at this and say that this was
A what?
feels familiar, does it not?
Got that moody travel film, like greens are actually yellow. This is actually like someone's personal taste coming through because if you look in the original image, like especially in that middle frame, look how green that is in the top too.
Yep.
A green, and he's really very intentionally shifted that green hue to yellow. Yep. And that's when you really start digging into grading is when you're changing colors to give a certain mood.
Ooh, this looks promising.
Okay. Yeah.
So my first problem with this looks like he did not export this at a very high bit rate, or he just crushed the colors so much that it just messed up the image.
One of the challenging things of grading is you're limited to what the footage actually was. And so because he's trying to do a silhouette here, there's not really enough backlight to really help with that. So it just kind of makes the whole image just kind of muddy.
Yeah, it's like flickering too. So it's like he didn't, like he's trying to add the,
Yeah.
I thought it was like lightning at first, but then it stays lit.
So what he's probably doing is using a Luma qualifier. But like when you use a qualifier and you select a certain part of the image and you're not careful to feather that, that's where you're going to get some of those flickers because the luminance values in your image are changing as you're shooting. It's not consistent throughout the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Especially when you're shooting outside. So as that changes, the qualifier is saying, oh, I need to make this dark. Oh wait, no, it's that. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's that. And it can't make up its mind what it's supposed to grab.
People love this.
Respectable. Yeah, I mean, what doesn't help is that his white balance is off when he starts shooting. It looks like he's probably shooting on like a DSLR or something.
I would say that. I would say this is probably Sony. This looks like Sony.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. I like the yellows popping in the trees. Skin tones are a little bit off. It's not necessarily consistent. You know, one thing that is a little tidbit here, if you want to go for a consistent color palette, one of the things I love in Resolve is you can add a node to the end of your grade and add the color palette to it. And you can see like, okay, what colors am I dealing with here? And then you can look through your shots and say, okay, wait, this one looks like this, but this, like, my color palette here is very different from here. You know, like, you watch a lot of movies and a lot of them have a very consistent color palette. Like the Dark Knight is one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Or even like Wes Anderson's films have a very specific color palette to it. So just being intentional with your palette and what, you know, are your pinks consistent? Are your reds consistent throughout the film? And if they're not, is there an intentional reason as to why?
Here's how to easily color grade your videos like your favorite YouTubers and movies. Start with a clip in the flat color profile. Go to color. Import a screenshot of the video you want to match. In this case, it's a screenshot from SoundCloud.
Are we doing color match here?
Control panel, then click on
This
color
never
wheels and
works.
match, then select comparison view. Add the screenshot of your video and then press apply match. Here's the before and after.
Okay. I even know about this one. I've tried these before, just like see if I could. It does apply matches like literally like last resort. Like I cannot figure this out for the life of me.
Well, one is lazy.
Lazy. Ball.
But two, where I would actually use it and where I have used it is not to try and emulate a look. Where I've used it is like I've got a couple shots that are a little bit different, and I'll use it two different ways. Sometimes I can use it to just make that shot look a little closer to that one, or sometimes I'll apply it and see, okay, what did Premiere do? And then I can analyze the clip and say, oh, okay, so Premiere saw that it needs more contrast, or Premiere saw it is a little bit warmer than it should be. So it can be a nice supplemental tool or complementary. Yeah. Wait, whoa. There was something crazy there. So, a really interesting thing about this shot is there's so much blue in that top image. And now, again, maybe some of that's not proper white balance when you're filming.
Stare into my soul, and I'll stare into yours.
Really gave a nice sunset look. Like, you can tell that he didn't just convert log to Rec 709. There's a lot of intention behind that look. In the top, there's no pink on his shirt. And that's what I'm seeing a lot too, is like really in his shirt, really in that area. Sometimes it's nice when you have a light colored something like that where his shirt is nice and light, because he can, if he's in Resolve, he can use his color wheels on the gain in particular and kind of bring that into the pinks a little bit. Or he could use a Luma qualifier, which a lot of times I'll use for just a little kiss of that color you want in that area. So if he wants to say, hey, the brighter parts of the image I want to be really pink, he can use that Luma qualifier, drag the low end up, feather that, and even take his offset and drag that towards the pink. And now it's going to gradually decrease the pink as it gets into the shadows.
If you guys have any TikToks that you think we should grade next time again for color grading, let us know in the comments below. Until then, check out this awesome video that we did, color grading subscribers color grading thing. It's right over Tim's face right here. It's super fun. Check it out. We'll see you guys in the next video.